Hey guys, welcome back to Mixed Doubles. So last week we promised you a surprise guest for this week's episode, and here he is, our #2 American player, Sam Querrey.
All right.
Thanks for being with us, Sam.
Thanks for having me.
Sam turned pro in 2006 at the age of 19. He's had a career high ranking of number 17 in the world, and he holds 7 ATP titles.
So 2010 seems to be your best year. You had a really good year. You had 4 titles that year. So 2 on the hard court, 1 indoor, 1 outdoor, and clay in Belgrade and the grass in London. What do you attribute your success in that year?
You know, I think it was just, a lot of hard work, obviously, and, a lot of times at tournaments when you, even those first couple rounds, if you're not playing great, you sneak through some matches, you just gain confidence, and that just happened for me in all 4 of those. I just kind of found some momentum and found my groove, and fortunately played well, and got 4 titles that year, which was really exciting.
So this year, tough year. So a lot of injuries this year. How do you approach your training now? How's that changing? Is it changing?
As far as my training goes, it's not any different. I mean, I'll be a little cautious at the beginning with my abdomen, making sure it's fully healed before I really get going. But, injuries are just a part of sports. If you look at all sports, guys get nicked up during the season, and, you got to take a week or 2 off here and there. So it's just part of it. But, I'm looking forward to getting back on the tennis court, getting back on the track and the gym in the next 2 months, and really putting in a lot of hard work, and hopefully starting next year out on a good leg.
What is your favorite tournament to play in? Doesn't need to be a slam, just anyone.
Favorite city or favorite?
Indian Wells, out in the desert. I mean, it's so much fun. It's relaxed. The courts are great. It's great for fans, great for the players. The weather's perfect. So that's probably my #1.
Last year, it was reported you were working with Brad Gilbert on a trial basis. Now you're back with your coach, David Nankin. What does a coach bring to the table for you? What do you look for in a coach?
Coaching's huge, and David Nankin, for the most part, has been my coach for the last 4 or 5 years. He's unbelievable coach, great guy, and a lot of times it's we won't even talk about a game plan sometimes. Sometimes it's just about my attitude, staying positive, staying focused, working on things that I can control out there. A lot of times with the coach, it's just having someone there holding you accountable during practices, someone who's setting up everything, like practice courts, drills.
What do you do for fun, or what do you do to relax?
When you are home, you're always kind of working out and staying in shape, but I like hanging out with my friends. I'm into music. I'll always try to go to concerts when I'm home. I'm trying to get more into golf.
What restaurants do you like here in LA? What kind of places do you go? Where can we find Sam Querrey?
These are the top hard-hitting questions.
I know, right? I'm really.
I'm a big sushi fan. I like katsuya, I like nagao, I like sugarfish. For the most part, I go to like Chipotle, Wahoo's Fish Tacos.
I used to work in Nightlife, as you know, and constantly I would see, like I said, other athletes out and about, even if they had a game the next day. But I never, ever, ever would see tennis players. So why is that? I mean, what differentiates tennis players from all of these other athletes?
For me, I can't dance. That's one of the reasons I'm not out. I think a lot of it just we're gone so much. I mean, other athletes are gone too, but we're literally gone 8 months a year, and a lot of times when I'm back, I'm just trying to rest and relax. So I just would prefer to just stay home, be low key, hang out with buddies, things like that.
So when you're over at the tournaments, who are some of your buddies on the circuit? Like, who are the ones you are grabbing lunch with, getting your racket strung with, doing whatever you guys do during your spare time in the tournaments?
We're not getting our rackets strung together, but I like that you threw that out there. But it's pretty much all the Americans. I mean, John Isner is one of my best friends. Andy Roddick, James Blake, Marty Fish, we're all close. They've kind of all moved on now.
Last week, I think we talked about this earlier, but last week we gave our predictions for the ATP Barclays World Tour, the finals, the championships. I think people respect your opinion a little bit more, want to know your opinion, what your thoughts are. Is there a dark horse? Is there somebody? I know the schedule's so long, so you get guys like Nadal, Federer, those guys that you kind of expect to win maybe, but because they've been winning so much, playing so many more matches throughout the year, do you think somebody can just kind of exploit that? They have a little bit more rest? Do you think anyone can come out that maybe we're not expecting to see in the finals?
I think Federer, honestly, he wasn't. He only got in the last couple weeks. He was kind of a last-minute guy to get in, so I think a lot of people aren't expecting him to win. He kind of had, for his standards, a little bit of a down year.
Yeah.
I think the heavy favorites are Djokovic and Nadal. But even though Federer lost to Djokovic the other day, but took him to 3 sets, I still think Federer will win his other 2 matches in the pool play and make it to the semifinals. And I think he's a guy that could sneak through and win it because he's won it 6 or 7 times in the past.
That's all.
And and especially now since Nadal won today, he's clinched a year-end #1. So that race between him and Djokovic is kind of over for the year. So I think I think Federer is kind of the guy to maybe kind of slide under the table and win it.
Last week we talked about the whole debate between prize money with the men and the women at the slams and the amount of sets played. Do you have an opinion on this subject, or do you just not really?
Keep it trouble. Keep it PC.
I think it's great. I think the equal prize money is great. I mean, if you go see a 3-hour movie or a 1-hour movie, you're paying the same thing for a ticket. So you know, it's during those 4 big tournaments during the year. The fans come, they watch men, they watch women. You've usually got 2 or 3 matches on a center court that are women's matches, 2 or 3 that are men's. So it's, you know, the tournament's kind of looked at as an equal tournament amongst fans, amongst who's playing on the court. So I think it's fine.
You get to the quarters, maybe start thinking about 3 out of 5 for everybody. And
Right.
then those first, second, third, fourth round matches, everyone's playing 2 out of 3. Because you get, as a fan, when you go there and you're seeing the number 1 seed play against the number 200 or whatever, it's pretty much, I mean, you get the upsets here and there, but it's pretty much a straightforward, you know, you know who's going to take it.
Yeah.
So, and as far as, this is for you, Sam, this is for you. Saving your body, talking about saving your body. When you're playing those long 3 out of 5 matches, do you think it would be more beneficial in those earlier rounds just to play 2 out of 3 matches, or not so much?
Yeah, I mean, especially for a guy like me, I mean, I haven't, you know, I'm not making the finals of every Grand Slam. So a lot of times those first few rounds, if I grind out a 5-setter and then a long 4-setter, I'm exhausted by the time I've hit the round of 16, where these Djokovic and Nadal, they've lost 4 games. And there's also the idea too that you know, we seed 32 guys now. They've you know, in the past they used to seed 16. So then all of a sudden those first 3 rounds, the number 1 or 2 player in the world could play a guy ranked 20, 25 in the world. So it's a little more challenging those first few rounds.
If you were not a professional tennis player, if you weren't playing tennis, what is it you think you would be doing?
I don't know, and I'm hoping to play tennis for another 10 years and then figure it out. So I've got 10 more years to play tennis and figure out what I want to do afterwards.
So Sam, what are some of your goals for this next year? What would measure a successful 2014 for you?
You know, I think my biggest goal is to stay healthy. I want to play a full schedule, full season, you know, not try to miss any events. And, you know, I just really want to have a good time, try to enjoy the game, try to enjoy the matches a little more than I did in the past, and kind of just, you know, take it in a little more and enjoy the competition. So, you know, those are probably my 2, you know, biggest goals.
As far as pop culture goes and, you know, tennis players, how do you feel about the Kardashians?
Just kidding.
I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
I mean,
That wasn't
comment
real.
on the card. I mean, I like the Kardashians. I have nothing against them. I watch the show if I'm bored at home. I'll turn on E and watch it. I mean, they're entertaining. Like,
Long flights when you want to fall asleep.
Whatever they say, I love following my new favorite Instagram follow is Lord Disick.
Oh my God, I'm kind of jealous.
Like Scott Disick, if he got a spin-off show, I would watch that every week.
Oh, absolutely. He's hilarious.
He's my favorite guy
Oh
on the
my
show.
goodness! They just announced the Davis Cup, the first round. You guys are hosting the UK squad. It's going to be held at Petco Park in the baseball stadium down in San Diego. Are you excited about that? And it's going to be on clay, is what they're saying. What are your thoughts about being down there in the park, playing on that venue, and then also on the clay?
I can't wait. I mean, Davis Cups are awesome. We all love playing those.
The ladies kind of want to know. Are you a free agent?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Well, I'm sure that puts a smile on a lot of people's faces out there. Well, that's all we've got for you, Sam. Thank you so much for coming out today. I really appreciate you being on the show.
No problem. Thanks for having me. This was fun.
Thank you.
Well, hopefully we will be seeing you again soon. And thank you guys for tuning into Mixed Doubles again this week. We'll see you next week.